This is an RX 5700 XT. If you were to look it up on eBay right now, you might could find it anywhere from $120 to $160, depending on how patient you are. It's got 8 gigabytes of VRAM, so it can do pretty good at 1080p and 1440p with the right settings. And today we're going to be testing it in good old Fortnite. All right, so the specs we're rocking with to test this graphics card are the i5-12600K, great processor, middle of the road, to at least give us a good idea for gaming, not going to bottleneck this at all, and 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, and we're running at 5600 megahertz. And of course, GPU-Z shows that we have the 5700 XT there. So let's hop into the games. Okay, so now we're in good old Fortnite with the RX 5700 XT. Now we are rocking an i5-12600K. We're at 1440p, performance mode, everything low except view distance. We've got that on far. Now, Fortnite's a game we're going to test at 1440p, 1080p on performance mode and DX12 mode, so make sure you stick around for all of that. And we're going to try to land at the same spot every time, and I like the underworld, so that's where we're going. Now, I'm not very good at build mode. I'm going to give you that. I've been trying to get, back into build mode. I played build mode for a really long time, grinded it out, the creative maps, all that stuff, and but my friends never played build mode, so, Anyway, so we're going to try to do a little bit more build mode and see what happens. My ping is also not the best for builds. That also makes build mode extremely hard, because if you don't have good ping, like, you gotta be on 0 ping. This is so dumb. There for a while, Fortnite had a good thing going where they had like the 50-50 on the wall thing, and that helped. And then they took that out because pro players were driving. So anyway, we're going to the underworld and we'll see what we're doing. We're not playing ranked because me and my brother have been playing ranked together, so we're trying to not play ranked when we're not on with each other, so that we can go up together in ranked. All right, and so now we can start our FPS counter, and right now at 1440p performance mode, we're getting 350-ish FPS. Looks like it might be going back down to 300 some ways. We do have some company possibly, it looks like. Can't tell what all is going on there, but looks like we might have some company. Try to get some mats here, but we're holding steady 320. Now, for those of you that don't know, a lot of you probably do, but for those of you that don't, not 1440p, but performance mode, your 1% lows are going to be a little bit less. Okay, so what we have currently is a 69 1% low, which we think, which is not bad. That was definitely a bot, and we're gonna see what we can do. That's also a bot, so maybe I got lucky and all the bots come over here. And so our 1% lows are going to be a little bit lower because we are in performance mode. And so the trade-off is like your 1% lows. If you're in an intense situation, does that matter? Does it affect your performance? I don't know. But the pros, the Fortnite pros, as far as I know, they pretty much all play on performance mode, and they play in those big tournaments where there's 80 something people alive at the end of the game. And so I'm not sure how much 1% lows, as long as you have in the, ours are climbing up to 90 right now on our 1% lows. So as long as you're in that range, it seems to be, something that's not too terrible. Our FPS average right now, 340, and I think that's pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fan. And our 1% lows are up to 134, and we're on performance mode, keep in mind. So performance mode, 340 FPS, 139 1% lows. We're chilling. This graphics card CPU combo is pretty awesome. Now, obviously, your CPU could affect your performance. If you have a lower CPU, your FPS numbers might not be as good as mine, and that's okay. Our FPS is kind of climbing up to the 360s, but I think that's because I accidentally kind of looked at the sky for a second. And so that could be part of what's going on there, but that's okay nonetheless. One thing about performance mode, things don't look the best. Looks a little grainy, I guess you could say, but I mean, Mr. Beast's head be shiny, looking good. And our 1% lows just keep climbing up, 164. Let's just double check that I was on performance mode, right? Performance mode, lower graphical fidelity, dude. That's just, I'm pretty pumped about that. I'm not gonna lie. If you can get like 300, 400 FPS with like what else? Like why would you need another graphics card? The 5700 XT, it's an awesome card. And I know this CPU is good, even though, you know, there's some people that think all i5s are terrible. This is a nice graphics card, for real, for real. I don't know why I can't find a car. There's a car. Whoa, dude, just come all up on me, man. Oh man, almost got him. Gotcha, buddy. Let's go. Get out of my lobby, dude. You just lost to a boomer. I'm a boomer. Hey, and we kept 330 FPS in the middle of that fight. My building skills are pretty atrocious. I'm gonna heal up here. I'm gonna try to reload so we don't get pushed. And we're gonna go now on performance mode. We're gonna drop down to 1080p and see how that affects our FPS numbers. Guys, if you like these videos, do me a favor though, you know, while we're changing our settings here, like, subscribe, comment what other games you want to see tested in our videos. Do you want to just see the esports stuff like the Fortnites, the Apexes, the Call of Duties, those kind of shooter type games? Are you happy just seeing those on the channel, or is there something else you want to see? Because I'm happy to oblige. I would love to just, you know, give the people what they want. So I'm pretty excited to be starting this because it is a fun channel for me to do. Our 1% lows just dropped a little bit there to 74, 75, and you know, and that tends to happen in performance mode. That's just part of it. I wonder though if it dropped because we switched to yeah, there you go. Now they're coming back up. It was probably because we went to the menu and switched to 1440 or switched to 1080p, and I reset the average counter. So we'll keep an eye on it and see what it does. It's at 144-ish right now. That's not too bad, man. It's just not gonna give us the tires we want, man. We'll just take the off-road ones for now, I guess. Anyway, so 308 FPS. That's pretty good, pretty solid. Can't complain about that. I do think 1440p was, you know, it was about the same. Not a whole lot of difference. I like 1440p. There's more pixels. It's a little cleaner, but that doesn't really matter if you don't have a 1440p monitor. But, you know, that's just kind of, I've gotten to where I really like Fortnite at 1440p. I'll give up 20 FPS or so just so I can have Fortnite running at 1440p. Because it is a nicer experience to me. If you've never played anything on 1440p, you're missing out. Obviously, you're considering it, or you wouldn't be watching this video. Or maybe you just like this graphics card or thinking about picking up this graphics card. Let me know if you're liking it so far, and I will let you know. So in the midst of that little fight, I had a phone call and somebody pushed me, and so I just ran away in this car, and now I have no tires. And so I really need some tires. Oh my gosh, how lucky is that? I got some tires right here. All right, let's go fight these people on the mountain. And either way, we're either going to stay in this game and we're going to be alive, or the round will be over and we can go test out DX12. Did they leave? I swear I saw like fighting and stuff up here. Well, now everybody's gone. And I don't know where my car went. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. How about that? That's pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna go see how we can do. Oh, there's only 8 people alive. I've killed 1 real person and a bot. So sorry for the lack of fighting content in this episode, but you know, even in the one fight we had, it was a decently long exchange and it went pretty well. Was that a real person? No, that was the NPC. That's gotta be a bot. That's definitely a bot. 6 people left. So we actually, it appears that we have better 1% lows at 1440p than 1080p. I don't know why that is, but that's kind of what we're looking at the moment. This dude is pushing me. Ah, I'm dead. Oh well, that's not too bad. All right, so that was pretty good for performance mode. Now let's go check out DX12. All right, so we're now in a DX12 mode, 1080p, and we're doing pretty much the same settings we had on performance mode, everything off or low except view distance. That's on far. And we're gonna see what happens. Typically though, DX12 sometimes can take a little bit longer to kind of render all of our settings in. Like, ooh, look at that FPS drop, man. That was crazy. Another crazy FPS drop. But it just seems to happen on DX12 more than performance mode for me. But once it kind of balances out, then you're kind of in good shape. So let's start our FPS counter here. Our 1% lows, see, already 23, 50, oh, 5. Like that means we're dipping to 5 FPS randomly. So we'll see how it changes and how it kind of, if it gets better, worse, indifferent, whatever. we'll just kind of keep it going. It should balance out pretty fine, but you just always have that one little hiccup here and there that it just seems to happen on the first game on the X12. It doesn't always happen, but here recently with AMD graphics cards, it seems to be worse because I've tested the 7700 XT, the 7800 XT, the 7900 GRE, and now the 5700 XT. Now, not all of those. The 7700 XT is not on this channel. Well, Fortnite, I think, no, it's not on this channel because we didn't start this channel until after we'd already done that. And so now we just are kind of here channel. And so we don't have another 7700 XT on hand because we sold that one. Our 1% lows are just really bad right now. And it's kind of weird because on performance mode, we had like 100 and something. It's supposed to, you're supposed to have better 1% lows on DX12 than performance mode, and so I just think that's hilarious because that's what everybody says. That's like the typical thing, but like this is borderline unplayable at this point, and performance mode was much smoother. And so like you can look at numbers all day if you want to, but at the end of the day, it really matters how it feels when you're playing the game. Like you can look at numbers and you can get so caught up in it, and I used to do that. Like I used to get so upset with my FPS numbers. Okay, loser. I was talking. That was rude. Anyway, I used to get so upset with my FPS numbers and like so stressed out because I'm like, I'm not getting enough FPS or my game's not doing what it should. And now like, I really don't worry about that stuff too much. If it's smooth and I can play it, then I'm happy. Like smooth gameplay is good. Pretty much anything, as long as you can get like 100 and, in Fortnite, I like to have over 200 FPS. Like that's what I like. But 140 something FPS is perfectly playable. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But DX12 should get better when we drop into our second game, so let's do that. So we're in game number 2 of DX12 with this graphics card, and yeah, it's a stuttery mess, man. It is absolutely a stuttery mess. But that was coming out of the battle bus. Maybe it'll balance back out some. Maybe it's getting better. I think it's just one of those things. DX12, I think AMD GPUs, like these last set of drivers that got installed on them, I just don't think they're doing very good. Like several people that I have built computers for have gotten really stuttery messes on their AMD GPUs recently with the last driver updates and games crashing and all sorts of things. And so we're we landed really hot there, so that hopefully it'll balance back out maybe when we go into our third game. All right, so this is game number 3, and we're still just stuttering so bad in DX12, like so bad. Now, I guess it could be maybe the 5700 XT can't run DX12. Maybe that's why. I don't really know. I mean, I probably should have landed somewhere really far away, but we'll just drop pod again, and then I'll land like on the super outskirts of the map and try to last a really long time and see if it ever balances out. You would think after a while it would balance out, but it's not right now anyway. Just so you guys can see, we're at 36, 1%, 14, 18. Maybe it'll start climbing. Really, everybody's so freaking sweaty in this game now. That's why it's not fun. I miss the wholesome days of Fortnite when you could just chill and relax and just play the game. And now literally everyone, like the skill gap is just enormous. It's the craziest skill gap that I've ever seen in a video game. Like aim and stuff in CSGO and Valorant is really a huge gap, but this just beats everything. Game number 4 on DX12 with the 5700 XT. Game number 4. I was going to say that it might have been slightly better, but we just literally bottomed out to 57 FPS. So maybe it will eventually get better, but like, who wants to play 5 games of Fortnite before it gets good? Like, who wants to do that? But we're on game number 4, and our FPS numbers are finally looking up, man. They're finally looking up. Like, our 1% lows are at 200. We're sitting at 240-ish FPS. It only took us 4 games to get to this point, but we are here, and it is awesome. Now my biggest fear is what's gonna happen when I turn it to 1440p. Are we gonna have to start this whole process over again, or is it gonna stay like this? And are we randomly gonna get a bottom out here in a minute? Like, is it randomly gonna bottom out, or are we gonna be okay throughout the entirety of this match? But you should not have to play 4 games I don't know if it's a driver issue on AMD side or what, but it's happened a lot here the last few games that I've played on AMD graphics cards. The last few graphics cards I've tested from AMD have had this problem on all of them. And it didn't used to be that way. Like I ran the 7800 XT, like that was my main GPU. And I always ran it in DX12 because I liked the way it looked. It looked better. It was more consistent looking. It was smooth. Like I never had these stutters. Never had these stutters or these problems. Hey, I got a bot in my lobby and not a sweat. Yay. It's wonderful. But we're sitting at 275 right now with a 1% low of 183. It's way better than 5. So we'll see if we can find like one more person to try to come in contact with. I really don't want to start another game though. So like I may just do some free building, you know. I'm not very good at building anymore. I'm cranking 90s like an old school demon, baby. An old school demon. That's what I just did. And it held up pretty smooth. I'm a fan. I'm just not a fan of having to play 4 games to get to this point. That's what I'm not a fan of. All right, so while we're up here at the top tallest tower, the tallest mountain on the tallest hill, something other, let's go to 1440p and see what happens. We want to keep the changes. We're going to reset our FPS counter. And it looks like we're getting 189, 196, but there's going to be somebody in railways. There's always someone in railways. So let's go over there and see what happens. We're at 185-ish, 180. 1% lows are 139. So like if you're going to play DX12, it looks like 1080p is going to be your better bet for like most FPS bang for your buck situation. But, you know, I don't think you could go wrong either way. I mean, 180 is playable. It's smooth. It's enjoyable. There's a slight stutter there, but I don't know if it was my screen on my capture card. It didn't drop the FPS 1% lows really, so it's probably fine. Now I'm inside a building, so my FPS is going up a little bit. So, you know, I would take that with a grain of salt at this point. Let's bust this wall out and get back outside so we can kind of really see our FPS. I can't believe there's no one in this place. 200 FPS, that's what we're rocking at the moment. 200 FPS. Oh, we had a little stutter. Oh, there we go. There it is. A little stutter back to 17 on our 1% lows. Oh my gosh. Maybe it's because I switched to 1440p. I don't really know at this point, man. Like, I used to always recommend AMD graphics cards. Like, especially for like Fortnite. Like, I always talked about how nobody made a big deal. Like, everybody made a big deal about them. But like, I don't know, man. It's going to get hard. Like, I've had no other issues with any other games with this graphics card. In all the tests that I've done today, I've tested several games, especially games, you know, similar to Fortnite, Call of Duty, all those things. Nothing has given me 1% lows like this. All right, I'm going to restart my counter over again and see if it dips again. Oh, see, there's another dip. I mean, that's just tough, man. We got none of that in performance mode. I wonder if there's just been a change in something. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a little concerning to me because, you know, we want to get... I've got some Intel Arc cards that I'm going to be testing soon on the channel as well. And I've heard that they don't like Fortnite very much, especially performance mode, like not at all. And so I am concerned about how we're going to deal with that, you know, because Fortnite is so popular. I don't want us to get to a point where we have to rely on NVIDIA GPUs with how expensive they are compared to the other ones. I mean, I use NVIDIA GPUs. I don't get me wrong. Like, I really like NVIDIA's graphics cards. I think they're cool. They got a lot of cool features. Like, I enjoy them, and I'm going to continue to buy them. But people on a budget, like I used one for 6 months, and for just gaming, it gave me no issues whatsoever. Anyway, I'm sorry to go off on a tangent here. Y'all probably, if you're still listening, tell me to shut up in the comments and just play the game. That's what I need you to tell me in the comments. And then I'll know you're a real one because you were listening this far in the video. But right now, our FPS average is around 200. It says 226, but right now it says we're getting like 208. So we'll see if this balances out, and we'll try to get a little further in the game to see what happens. I really need a car. There's a car. Because I didn't want to do anything too crazy without a car. At least give me some bulletproof tires right here. I don't think there's anything else right there that I can get. There's a gas station up here though. Boosting so far, it's dropping my FPS some. Doing this little boosting with the cars. All right. And grenade launcher. Please don't hit the off-road tires. Those things are garbage. All right, we'll see if our 1% lows come back up. I'm not going to restart the thing this time. Went down again. Weird. Let's hit one. Oh, dang it. I did not mean to do that. Oh, there's lots of loot down here. Oh my gosh. It felt like it was about to crash. Like, I really thought the game was going to crash right there. That's how bad that FPS drop was. I bet we're pretty much starting all over with our 1% lows when we switched it to 1440p. Like, I bet it's got to render all of everything back in again with 1440p. Like, all the textures and stuff that I just already loaded in and finally got loaded in. Please don't flip over. Okay, great. I bet that's what we're dealing with at the moment. All right, so even though our 1% lows have been a little sketch and sus, just in that exchange that I just had driving a car around and trying to fight a little bit, like, it didn't seem too unplayable in that moment, but I mean, it's definitely possible to have been in that situation for sure. Nice. All right, let's see if we can go fight these guys over here. Oh man, that was bad. What a drop in that. Man, I don't guess they're fighting anymore. But our FPS average is around 200 or so. I just really hate that we've made this video so long and so disappointing at this point. Like, maybe people will watch till the end. Okay, so this is game number 2 at 1440p on DX12. It looks like we're gonna have to play DX12 over and over and over again, just like we did at 1080p to get a solid FPS experience. So maybe we won't have to play 4 games this time, but it's looking like we're gonna have to at least play 3 because, well, I don't know, maybe not. Our 1% lows just dropped up to 150, so that's promising. 160, that's promising. So maybe you don't have to play 4 games if you change the resolution, but hopefully, you know, you guys are not like me. Oh, nope, there it dropped down to 20. This is so stupid. So stupid. But this is why I want to do this for you guys on the channel, because a lot of people will just play 1 or 2 games of Fortnite, and I've been guilty of that as well on my main channel, and that is just not... I love it when they sweaty dudes, dude. Oh yeah, I gotta, oh my gosh, I got a bird is the word on that, dude. Lord have mercy. But I mean, 1% lows are balancing back out, so I mean, I feel pretty confident to say that you're going to be fine with this graphics card. If you do decide to play on DX12, just know that it's going to take a little while before you can get to a point where, you know, you might have to play some games. Now, I don't know if you can like hop in creative and and that will like count as like playtime in order for it to like render correctly. I have no idea, but we're rocking 200 FPS on DX12, and you did have to play several games to get it to, you know, your 1% lows to not lag and stuff. I think part of that is just, you know, just the graphics card and the nature of what we're dealing with. But, you know, we're going to fight Oscar here, get his shotgun, and then if you want to go watch another graphics card video to see exactly how you might get some better FPS as I die to Oscar here, then you can click the link in the screen below or above.